The price of an average gallon of gasoline when you left office was $2.42.
And no one was going anywhere.
And now, well, I paid this weekend $4.79 a gallon to fill up my own tank. What Mr. President, in a little over a year?
What happened in a little over a year? I mean, pretend that the war that you helped foment isn't going on, and also that we have a rubber band effect on the entire world's economy, including no one was using petroleum, so much so that the atmosphere was better than it had ever been. And yet, because of the lack of planes flying, the lack of particulates in the atmosphere actually was making the Earth heat up faster, which is a fascinating aspect of air travel, which is, I mean, in the IPCC report, it's one of the most hilarious aspects of it. But yeah, so we were going nowhere and doing nothing. Now we're going everywhere and trying to do everything all at once. That might affect prices. It might.
Well, I think a lot has to do with the fact that the energy, you talk about the barrel price or the price per gallon per car.
For cars, yes. I buy my cars by the gallon. What?
Energy, you talk about the barrel price or the price per gallon for cars. It's so.
Yeah, that's how we talk about it. You know, we human people, Americans who do things.
We actually had it down to about $1.87 a gallon, and now it's, you may have gotten $4, but you made a great deal because it's $5, $6, and even $7 in some places. Like
I negotiated. I followed your lead.
You made a great deal.
A good negotiator. I know that. Take a look at your contract. So I think that...
Look at these people walking. That's what they want for us. They want us to get rid of our big trucks and walk everywhere. Oh, what's that big truck in the background?
I mean, I just think that the energy is such a big factor, and it's driving everything else up, and we are stopping production and closing up wells, and we're going to Venezuela.
No, we're not.
And we're asking them, we're going to a dictator that everybody was supposed to despise, and we're asking them for oil. And
I'm sorry, did you guys get the everybody's supposed to despise Maduro memo? I guess let's just assume he's giving the order now.
I call it, we have liquid gold right under our feet, Sean, and we're going to other countries. We're getting it from indirect.
Texas tea is how we refer to it. Black gold, not liquid gold. The liquid gold would just be molten gold.
We're getting it from Russia because it is indirect, but it's still coming out of Russia, and at numbers that
it's indirect because China's buying it at numbers no one could ever.
He's ever gotten before. By the way, we have.
Again, what the fuck does that mean? At numbers no one's ever got before, by the way? Everything's worse than it's ever been until it's worse even than that. If hyperbole was a wildfire, the earth would have burned up 2 years ago.
Create a tremendous amounts of oil and gas and let it be clean. And the environment my last year was record-setting clean.
Yeah, it was, because there was zero output. Like, cars weren't going anywhere, planes weren't flying, boats weren't moving. It's amazing how the atmosphere cleans up when none of that shit is happening.
Water and air. If you look at the air, it was record-setting. You look at the water, it was record-setting.
Yeah, this is record-setting water. It was like... I'm starting to think, wait a minute. I think there's 3 hydrogen atoms in this. Just 2 still? Amazing. How do they do it? Did they add an extra oxygen? I think this is H2O2. It's just too tasty. No, what happened? Oh, no ships are sailing, and therefore there's nothing on the Mississippi, and therefore bilge pumps aren't emptying into our drinking water? Oh, I see.
Yet we weren't stopping businesses from functioning.
No, COVID was taking care of that for you.
Mr. President, I asked you about this the last time you were on, but it's more relevant even today, and that is you Joe Biden inherited an America that was energy independent.
We still are.
Inherited America that was a net exporter of energy. As I said,
we still are.
When you left, the average price of gas around the country, including all the taxes, was $2.42 a gallon. We're now setting record high after record high in terms of a gallon of gasoline. And you made a good point here. He put all these policies in place, killed the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah, that doesn't stop the actual stuff from getting to market. It just speeds it up. There's already a Keystone pipeline. This is the XL, the extra large one. Think of it as Nord Stream 2 for Canadian tar sands oil.
The Alberta Premier said we'd be literally 900,000 barrels of Canadian oil by now would be flowing into our country every day, which would be a good...
No, through our country, fucko. We don't get to keep it.
Deal for America at this point.
No, it wouldn't. What do you think? What do you think? There's a proximity price on shit?
We wouldn't need to import oil as Joe did last year from Russia and Iran. But I want to get into...
Did Joe do this? Let's see. This is February 21st, 2022. Can Iran's oil save American motorists? We may be about to see a surge in oil from Iran. Oh, we haven't already? I thought we already. We already? That's the hope, at least, surrounding talks in Vienna aiming to revive the... Hi. How are you? Oh, thanks. Thank you, my love. A beverage. She brought me a beverage. It's wonderful. I just started, so do you want to order food soon?
Sure. Also, I forgot, we have that tonight.
We have what tonight? Ew. Oh, right. Blech. Well, I really, I'd love to, but I got a thing.
Go out.
Yeah. Okay. Not a problem. Whatever you need me for, I love you. Huh? I know. I want to be with you. There you go. Excuse us. This happens. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Love you. I'm not hungry, but if you want to order something.
Yeah, would you like anything else?
No, not particularly. But if you want to order something, just.
I'll snap in.
Yeah. Like it. Okay. See, we worked it out. See it like that. Yeah. Don't leave Alex cute. Oh, thanks. So we may be about to see a surge in oil from Iran. That's the hope, at least, surrounding talks in Vienna aiming to revive the 2015 nuclear deal, also known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Yeah. We'll buy your oil if you promise not to make a nuke. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. Sanctions on Iran were first removed in 2016. Right, we went back on or whatever. That could reverse some of the recent rise in crude prices and take pressure off motorists faced with the highest fuel prices. Okay. Again, it's been going on for months. Yeah, Russia's pulled out of that, and we're just talking to everybody else now. On the other side of the table, major differences remain on what's required to roll back their nuclear advantage, which allowed it to enrich uranium to weapons-grade levels and near the threshold of becoming a nuclear state during the Trump years because he got out of the deal, which was stopping them from doing that. But hey, adult shit. All right, so I'm sure more lies.
What the solution is, they won't even consider going back to and adopting your successful policies. And I want to hone in on...
Oh, you mean the policy of telling Russia and Saudi Arabia to lower production? Because that's the only active part of the policy he had anything to do with. That's it.
Let's start with Iran alone. This deal with Iran that would give them tens of billions of dollars, reported...
As opposed to Russia. By the way, Iran is willing to stop their nuclear program, and they have no plans to invade any other countries. Unlike Russia, who Sean Hannity and everybody is arguing we shouldn't be buying it now, but up till the second they invaded, it was totally cool, and the second they leave, let's go right back to it.
take the Iranian Revolutionary Guard off the no-fly list, reportedly allow Vladimir Putin, who's negotiating.
I love this Biden gas price surge. Did somebody at Fiverr make this for you, Sean?
The deal to build a nuclear facility.
Yeah, this doesn't help right here, by the way. This is nobody was going anywhere. You know, we had Delta right here, and then it dipped back down. And then we started, oh, look at that. People are driving again. There's actually money in the economy. Just businesses are opening. Oh, and here's the distinction between the Russian invasion and prices. Kind of different than this just kind of recovery part.
For the Iranians, this is madness, and that we'd import oil from the Iranians. Now, would you...
Gas price spike under Biden. I like the graphics, though. Look at this. It's sort of a pump. It's got the pumps on either side, using kind of old digital stuff. Let's see. Gas prices worldwide per gallon. Here we go. No, that's March 14th. Fox Detroit. What are gas prices around the world? Yeah, let's see. Maybe they'll have a graphic. Let's see. Where do you go? Go away. Let's see. Top 10 most expensive countries to buy gas as of March 14. Prices are updated weekly, unless noted. Hong Kong is $10, Monaco $9, Netherlands $9 a gallon, Finland $9 a gallon, Liechtenstein $9, Germany $9, Italy $9, Norway $8, Greece $8, Denmark $8, Venezuela. This is the least expensive countries. Venezuela, super cheap. If you had anywhere to go, it wouldn't cost you anything to get there. Libya, amazing. Why can't we have the same? Why can't we have strong leadership like Libya and Iran and Syria? Even Nigeria and Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan. What are the odds? And this is on Fox. The complicated reason. Hold on, I guess. The complicated reasons gas prices are so high. But yeah, so Hong Kong is $10 a gallon. That's pretty nuts. It's $4.32. Netherlands $9. Italy $9.84
Make that deal with the Iranian government, the mullahs that chant death to America?
Well, they don't do it. The people in the street do to impress the mullahs, but that's not everybody. And also, we used to have a great relationship with them till oil fucked it up.
So I ended a terrible deal, but it was better than the one that they're looking to do now, the Iran.
By the way, the ending of the Iran nuclear deal and the elimination of their oil from the market benefited the Saudis and the Russians. So, by the way, does like undermining any kind of reconciliation in Venezuela as well, from a political standpoint. That's why Trump did it. Trump wanted out of the Iran deal because they could bring their oil to market as part of it, and the Saudis and the Russians didn't want that, so he stopped it. It had nothing to do with Israel or nukes or anything. Just for the record. It was a direct order, basically. Convinced me otherwise.
Deal. They're looking to do a deal even worse, if that's possible. And, you know, the one thing you didn't say is Israel is in tremendous peril, tremendous danger of this.
No, they're not. Can I show you what technology Israel introduced? I posted this earlier. Wow, probably. Oh, hold on. I mean, I saw this like Israel anti-missile. Whoops, laser. Yeah, there you go. So this was today. Israel successfully tests new laser missile defense system. We have this system already. Let me see if I can find a video of it. Let's see, YouTube. That's adorable. I don't know if this is just some rando person's thing. Yeah. So, we have these kind of things, these kind of systems that shoot down, they can shoot down lasers. These are on U.S. carriers. It's the naval tech. That's U.S. Navy has these lasers that can shoot down missiles. So the Iranians tested one. Where is it? These are all pictures. Come on, you dumb. They literally tested it today. Laser beam work in the works, shoot down incoming projectiles. Blah blah. Blah. Anyways, a bunch of these came up. This was not possible when the original Iran deal was made. Now it basically means that if Iran did decide to launch a nuclear weapon, not only do our ships in the sea have this technology to shoot down the missile before it could arm itself, but so could, yes, Jewish space lasers, only they're from Earth. They'd have to put a satellite with a mirror on it just to set our forests on fire.
Because it's a very...
Oh, can we watch the Russian ship sink again? Happy thoughts? Yes, that's also true. In related news, the Moscow ship sunk, and they admitted it. Oh my God. An explosion aboard Russia Moscow this week came shortly after the issue of a new Ukrainian postage stamp that highlights the warship in an image celebrating national resistance. It's a dude giving the finger to the boat. That's the boat that sank. You go through all this design, and now you gotta do it. Somebody already recreated this with the boat sinking like Titanic. So good. Yeah, there's a javelin. That's not what got it, but you fools are laughing now, but once Putin mobilizes the city of Moscow municipal fleet, it's all over for NATO. Yeah, you got tractors, we got tractors. We don't need no stinking tractors. Let's see. Police raid an anti-war concert at the Moscow Cultural Center, disrupting a performance artist. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so this is it. So they said that munitions blew up on the deck and that it sank. Where the fuck is it? Taz wrote this. Yeah, so they initially reported the blast on it, and then later on, they admitted that it sank. Yeah, that's the missile cruiser Moskva sank while being towed to its destination in a storm due to damage to the hull received due to a fire from the detonation of ammunition. Yeah, that's a fire due to the detonation of ammunition. It wasn't our ammunition. However, it was special drowning operation. It was swiftly and professionally turned into a submarine. That's the Neptune rocket, or at least a reasonable facsimile there. Yeah, so this is TACH or TASS that Reuters was a part of, and then there's the Russian Orthodox preach blessing a Russian S-300 nuclear-capable long-range surface-to-air missile system. Oh, God. How's the cruiser Moscow? Oh, God, this is just brutal. Not my fault. Right. Yeah, that's well, and then we're gonna get into the older stuff. So yeah, enjoy. It's just fun.
Quick roadmap for them to have a nuclear weapon and a lot of nuclear weapons, and I can't imagine.
Unlike the ones that North Korea was building during his presidency.
That it's going to be allowed to happen. what they're doing in Congress and what Biden is doing, I can't imagine that they would allow this to happen, Sean. This could very well.
Yeah, they don't. We'd already signed off on it. Just be a minor modification. Go back to it.
The end of Israel. A lot of people are saying that too, unless perhaps something happens where Israel's going to have to take up the fight. But it is a terrible situation. And you know,
Terrible.
if you look, I told China you can't buy any oil until we make a deal. Had we won this election, which we did, had we been put in place or left in place, we would have had
Right, they won, but they did, and Iran knows this. They would have made a deal in a week.
absolutely. First of all, we wouldn't have had the Ukraine situation with Russia, but we also wouldn't have China buying massive numbers, record-setting numbers of barrels of oil from Iran, which is making Iran very, very rich. I told China, if you're going to buy from them, we're not doing business with China. So the gravy train.
Yes, yeah, we're not doing business with China. American businesses. So he was going to nationalize the Venezuelaning of America wouldn't be complete under Trump.
$508 billion a year. The gravy train would end. And the other thing I did in terms.
By the way, no, they wouldn't. Think about that for a fucking second. Think about what he's suggesting. The idea is that if Trump, because Trump wanted to make a deal with Iran, which he never actually took any steps towards making, he was threatening China that if they bought any oil from Iran during the time he was thinking about doing a deal that he never had any plans to do or didn't discuss the details of which with anyone, including China, if they bought oil from China and he found out about it, which they did and he knew, he was going to stop U.S. businesses from doing all trade with China. Apparently that button's right next to the nukes button on his desk.
China is between taxes and tariffs. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. That's never happened before. They never.
Yeah, we've taken tariffs in from them for a long time. You know who didn't get any tariffs attached to their products? Ivanka.
Any president 10 cents. But no, we are on the wrong side of everything. We have inflation. Wouldn't have happened. We have Ukraine.
No, you're right. He's right. We wouldn't have had inflation. We would have just stayed in perpetual collapse.
Wouldn't have happened. You'll probably have Taiwan. That would never have happened. None of the.
Yeah, you're probably going to have it. It never would have happened. It's not happening now, but it's going to happen. And once it does happen, it was never going to happen if I was there. And if it didn't happen yet, it's because they're worried about what happens if I come back.
Stuff would have happened. And some of it has to do with energy. Even the war.
Some of it?
The barrel of oil. You know, it's money, money, money to win wars. You need money, money, and money. And
yeah, that's by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen some of the bombings that Trump was suggesting, but I was like, can I be under those planes? Just throw money out the plane. There might actually be an argument for that. You might actually do some good. We're not. America doesn't like you. We're just gonna roll in there and just dust your country with money. Here, just take it. Like, oh God, these fuckers are great. Don't blow them up.
It's
the mother of all bullshit.
Very simple. The numbers are the highest they are in history. So Putin, whether he sells it directly or indirectly, is selling for more money than he's ever sold before. They're taking in.
No, he isn't. The price cratered. He can't sell it to the people with the most money. He's getting a scrounger's price for it. He didn't just like invent selling to China. He's just selling more to them at the price they previously paid. What do you think? I'll sell you more oil. I'm not selling it over here. It's just backing up. I'll sell it to you, but I got to charge you a premium. Why? Well, because I have too much of it. What the fuck? What kind of business is that?
Amounts of money in Russia, despite the disaster that's going on in Ukraine. And it's a very, very sad, it's a horrible thing to watch. Horrible.
Imagine what it's like to experience it. It's a horrible thing to watch.
Even the energy, if you really look at it, John.
Why is it a horrible thing to watch? Because Putin's losing. And I look like an asshole, like he was supposed to win.
The energy is involved with the Ukraine situation, because the amounts of money being made are so enormous, and we could be doing that in our country with, as I said, the liquid.
Oh, yeah, we could have invaded Ukraine to stop them from getting their oil and gas to the market and then keep, what? Europe from buying it?
Gold that we have more of than anybody.
You know, it's interesting. When you were last on this program, you told the story. Well, first, I showed the video of you basically excoriating the head of NATO and saying how stupid NATO was being when NATO was literally, we're spending more dollars, more per GDP percentage than all these NATO allied countries. We're protecting them from Russia, Germany, and all these other countries.
It's a group thing. Like, if the attack happened, it wouldn't be like, we can only send 8% of our troops. We're supposed to send 2%, but or 0.8% of our troops, but we're supposed to send 2%. We really just can't do that.
Are making Russia and Putin rich again.
And by the way, this was him trying to drive a wedge between Germany and NATO and try to get them to break off. That's what this was about. It wasn't about solving the issue of NATO engagement. It was about decimating NATO. Look at Pompeo. Pompeo is actually for NATO in the same way that John Bolton is. He thinks it can be a hammer whenever we, in case of emergency, break glass. But he doesn't want it destroyed. Look at his fucking face during this whole thing.
These billion-dollar deals, which you said was it would eventually backfire on them.
Look at him. Look at this fucker. He's like, the fuck?
You were very strong in your statement. You handed Angela Merkel the white flag of surrender, and she said, "What's?"
Gave her a napkin. Fuck it. Fuck off with this nonsense. He didn't mail her a flag.
For you can pick it up from there.
Yeah, to finish the story, I don't really give a shit.
Well, I told Angela that you can't make a deal with Russia where you're going to get, in my opinion, 78 to 80% of your energy.
In my opinion. So, you mean they get 40%?
She said it was 40, but it wasn't 40.
No, it wasn't 40. It was 70. It had to be. Why? Because 40 doesn't sound big enough for my hyperbolic, psychotic statement.
It was close to 80% of their energy from...
No!
Yeah. And all you have to do is look at history. Take a look at World War I and World War II. And now you take a look at what's going on right now. And I did. I sent her the white flag of surrender because she said, what? But what?
And they didn't, by the way. They didn't. Once Russia did this, Germany closed themselves off to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline and are just done with it. They didn't surrender. He insisted they would, and they fucking well didn't. Even in the first couple of days, they soft-pedaled because they weren't sure how bad this was going to go. A lot of countries were afraid to give offensive weaponry because what happens if Ukraine gets taken over very quickly and all of that stuff just ends up in Russian hands? So there was a wait and see in the beginning of it about what they could give and who was going to jump in line first. And the United States has more stuff, so we can afford to do it because we're no longer in Afghanistan. So we got a lot of gear sitting around, and a lot of it's parked in Europe, so we could bring it over and here, guys. Yeah. Again, the whole fucking we surrendered in Afghanistan. Everybody's laughing because we're no longer there. It was embarrassing, yada yada. No, the very fact that we're not in Afghanistan anymore is the very thing that allows us to be as resilient, because we have a shit ton of gear we really don't need that's over in Europe, and we're like, here, guys, knock yourself out.
I said it means that Russia has you exactly where they wanted you for.
And yet they didn't.
For a century. And that's where they've got you. And you're making a terrible mistake. The other thing I did is I ended the pipeline going into Germany and going into Europe. I ended the...
No, he didn't. They kept building it.
Nord Stream 2, which was the Russian pipeline going into...
So is Nord Stream 1.
All of Europe, but going into specifically and mostly Germany. And I ended it. And Biden came along, and almost from the first day he approved it. But he ended the Keystone pipeline, which is our pipeline. So
it's not our pipeline. It's a Canadian pipeline.
figure that one out?
Let me
I figured it out. I looked it up. It's a Canadian pipeline. It's Canadian tar sands oil.